Good to see you guys again. Hope everyone's doing well. Today we're gonna talk about the best vlogging tripod. Before we dive right into these vlogging tripod, I made a list of criteria that will be helpful while picking out the best vlogging tripod for your need. The first one is size and weight. The weight of your tripod plays a big role when you're traveling to places, especially after you put a camera on top of it. Picking out a tripod with an acceptable size and weight will allow us to bring it with us and use them more often so we can actually capture the moments and the stories. The second one is functionality. This one is more practical. Does the tripod work as intended for your filming style? Or is there room for improvement? For example, maybe you can add more accessories on the side of the tripod. Most importantly, does it facilitate you to create better videos and stories? Number 3 is compatibility. Always make sure that the tripod you're getting is compatible with your camera, one way or another. Some vlogging tripod or tabletop tripod comes with a different kind of ball head or plate, so it might not work with the camera you're using. Or maybe you have another tripod already that you'd like to switch to seamlessly without having to change the tripod plate all the time. Number 4 is durability. Now this tripod is the one you will be using for traveling and vlogging all the time. So the build quality is quite important as well. Plus, this is something that you will be putting your cameras on, so your camera's life depends on it. I definitely want to make sure the build quality is good enough, and hopefully it'll give you a better mileage throughout your adventures. Number 5 is price. Camera gear can be pretty pricey and the bills adds up quickly. So we want to pick something that's suitable for our filming style. At the same time, it doesn't break our bank. Keep in mind that these 5 criteria are just a guide to get you started. It might not fit 100% for your filming style, but your filming style might change in the future as you make more videos. Alright, now that's out of the way, let's talk about the vlogging tripod. I'm gonna start with the popular ones and then end with my favorite at the end. Yep, you probably guessed it right. The first vlogging tripod we're gonna be talking about today is the GorillaPod. This is probably the most versatile vlogging tripod out there right now, and it's very well known and popular. Instead of having regular straight tripod legs, it has a bendy design that feels like an octopus. The GorillaPod comes in different size and weight, so make sure you do some research before getting them. But overall, they're not too heavy at all. The functionality of the GorillaPod is amazing. You can pretty much mount it on any kind of places that you can think of. So you have more options when you're trying to frame yourself. Keep in mind that the tripod plate and bow head is kind of different too when it comes to different payload. In other words, the tripod plate might not be compatible with your other tripod. Like the tripod plate here is not an Arca Swiss plate, so I won't be able to use this on my bigger tripod. If you want to attach extra accessories on this tripod such as a shotgun mic or a light, you won't be able to do it with this version, but there's another version that I believe comes in extra hand on the side for it to hold the shotgun mic and the light. So yeah, look into those if you're interested. As for durability, I'm sure you have seen other YouTubers using the GorillaPod and the camera starts to fall over because the legs are not as steady as before, not as tight I guess. For me, that wasn't actually the issue. Instead, one of my legs just came off after a year of using it. And then so I super glued the leg back on there, and I'm not sure if I trust the super glue with my camera on there. The price point of the GorillaPod goes from $20 to $100+, depends on the payload of the tripod. And the build quality goes up as well in my opinion. Let's talk about the Manfrotto Mini Pixie tripod. This tripod is very small, and there's also a bigger version of this if you want more reach and more payload. I got this one mostly for my point and shoot camera, the Canon G7X Mark II. It'll be able to hold other smaller mirrorless camera too, like the Canon M50. Functionality of this Manfrotto Mini Pixie tripod is very limited, but it also makes it really easy to use. All it has is a small ball head on top. You push the button on the side to turn it, and the ball head doesn't have a vertical notch, so you won't be able to take vertical shots with it. You simply screw this on the camera tripod, mount it, and that's it. No tripod plate is needed for this little tripod here, but if you have a tripod plate on your camera that has a 1/4-inch screw under it, you will be able to mount this on the camera as well. The durability of this tripod is actually not bad, but then of course it depends on the copy of the tripod. This is my second one. I actually lost the first one when I went snowboarding about 2 years ago, and I like it so much that I got another one. But the second one I have here having some issues after a year of using it. The bow head here becomes very loose. I don't even have to press the button mechanism for it to move around. All I have to do is just kind of like tilt it and then it's moving. Like, yeah. It's very loose. The price for this little vlogging tripod is pretty reasonable, around $25, and the bigger version is around $45. So definitely check out this tabletop tripod if you're using a smaller camera or you just don't want to carry heavy camera gear. On to Switchpod. This is the new kid on the block when it comes to vlogging tripod. The Switchpod started on Kickstarter and it was a success, so it went to production. I also supported the campaign and got my Switchpod last year. The size and weight of the Switchpod is perfect. The design is so slim and lightweight. You can tuck it away without adding extra bulk on your backpack. Functionality wise, it's on point. You can open and close the legs of the tripod in seconds. The only downside is that you won't be able to set this up anywhere like the Gorilla Pod here. Oh, and when you spread the legs out, it takes more space than pretty much all the other tripods out there. This is actually good because it's very sturdy and stable this way. By the way, I also made a short unboxing and first impression video on the Switchpod last year if you're interested. Compatibility. Well, since it's using a 1/4-inch screw, you can attach your camera directly on top or add your desired tripod head to it. You can get their own bow head if you're into those as well. On the side of the legs, we can see 2 more 1/4-inch that you can utilize to attach lights or mic as you wish. As for durability, the whole thing feels very sturdy and it holds up pretty well when I had my Fujifilm X-T2 on there. And the center payload of the Switchpod is 100 pounds. Now, I dropped the Switchpod on the ground once and it broke. It broke the 1/4-inch screw on top of it. Yeah, it doesn't open anymore or it doesn't close. I mean, it still does, but if I opened it, it'll just fall apart. So my Switchpod is not usable anymore. I don't know if it's just a bad copy or maybe it's the angle of impact when it dropped on the ground. I was so sad that I even made a vlog about it. I mean, I probably could have used super glue to glue this 1/4-inch screw back in here, but I just don't know if I trust the super glue with my camera on here anymore, so I haven't been using it ever since. The price for the Switchpod is not very cheap. It's $99 for the tripod itself and $35 for the bow head. But then again, you can mount any bow head on there if you want, or any kind of tripod head. As you guys probably noticed by now, all of the last 3 vlogging tripod I introduced are now broken in different ways. Not saying that they're bad or anything. They definitely have their value as a vlogging tripod. And no, I'm not trying to break them intentionally. This last tripod that we'll be talking about today happens to be the only one that's working right now. And that is the Sirui 3T35K. For some reason, nobody's really talking about this tabletop tripod, but for me, this is like my favorite vlogging tripod as of now. The footprint of this tripod is very small compared to the other ones when you fully close it, and it doesn't feel too heavy at all. The legs of the tripod folds upward like this and turns into a handle so you can vlog with it. When you need to set them up on a table, you just fold them out like this and lock it. You're good to go. As you see, since the 3 legs folds out like this, it doesn't take much space when it's fully extended. However, because the legs are very short, I find that if you want to take vertical shots on this tripod, you have to be very careful because the weight of the camera might cause it to tip over. I haven't had any problems while setting up my camera on top of this tripod horizontally, but do keep in mind that the payload of this tripod is 8.8 pounds. Roughly. Oh, and there's also an extension here if you want to make it longer. On the top over here, you have the standard Arca Swiss tripod plate, so it's compatible to all the other tripods that I own. However, you won't be able to add extra accessories on the side of the tripod because there's no other 1/4-inch for you to add maybe like an extra light or microphone on this tripod here. And durability wise, well, this is the only tripod that still works properly out of all of these, so I say it's pretty good. I also dropped it a few times and still works. The paint is a bit chipped off on the top over here, but I see it as battle scars. And there's another version that has the C10 bow head, which has a quick release button on the side that costs around $90. The one I have here is not the C10 bow head mount, but if you have a choice, definitely go with the C10 bow head because you have a quick release button on the side. I believe like somewhere here. Just imagine there's a button here and that'll allow you to release the tripod plate very quickly without having to unscrew this all the time. This Zero tripod is not the most popular choice out there, but it does an amazing job as a vlogging tripod or a tabletop tripod. At the end of the day, the most important thing you have to consider when you're picking out the best vlogging tripod is the one that can actually facilitate with your video production. And you certainly don't need the most expensive and good looking tripod to tell your stories. I hope the list of criteria in the beginning of this video can help you guys as a guide for figuring out which vlogging tripod is more suitable for your filming style. These are the tabletop tripod that I've experience with. Let me know which tripod works for you. As usual, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell on your way out. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.